welcome back to my channel. So two things to point out before we begin. One, if you can hear a noise in the background, I have got a fan on because under these lights, honey, it's very hot. And number two, if you're thinking I look really tanned, it's because I am. You will see the foundation that I applied in this video looked slightly different in the tester than it did on my face. So it was slightly too late. I tried to make it work. I know I look really tanned. This isn't intentional. I know I like to be tanned, but not this tanned. So before you come for me in the comments, just watch the video and see how it plays out. But in today's video, all of you guys in my last video, which by the way, thank you so much for all the love on, I said I had a bunch of new products I wanted to try, and you all said you wanted to see them in action. So we are doing this purple cut crease today, more on the violet side of things. We are using Urban Decay, Revolution, NYX, Huda, Jeffree Star, Hollyboon lip products. All of that good stuff are going to be used in this video, so I'm excited for you guys to see my thoughts on them. I like doing things because I know it can be so overwhelming with all the new makeup that comes out. You don't know what is good, what to buy, so I've tried to do a whole range and spectrum of brands and products so you can see what they look like and either save your money or spend your money. I don't know, but we're going to be testing them here today. Before we get started though, it is post notification bell shout out time, and this week it goes to Coco Lou Makeup, who says, love this look, you look stunning, Rach. Thank you so much. I really hope you guys enjoy this look. We are doing color. We're doing some purple today. I love the way this came out, bar the darker foundation. So if you want to see which products I love by the end of this, or ones that maybe I don't love so much, then please keep watching. Okay, so to begin, we're gonna go ahead and do our eyes first. I've already gone ahead and just laid some tape down and prepped my eyes with concealer. I am so excited for the palette that we're gonna be using. It is the new Urban Decay Game of Thrones collaboration eyeshadow palette. If you've not seen this, or if you're not a fan of Game of Thrones, then, you know, it doesn't really make sense. But just because I recently got into it and I've literally powered the whole way through, I'm already on season 7. Like, that's really bad. I only started like a week or so ago. But anyway, this is the palette, and you open it up like this, and this is just kind of a bit more for like show. I've got a little message in there, little quote, and then this is where the palette comes out like this. Come on, there we go. Now mine actually, one of my shades broke, so I don't want to tip it all the way up because it's actually one of the shades that I want to use today. But it looks like this. It has really gorgeous jewel tones as well as warm tones and some iridescent tones as well. We've got really wearable shades and like pops of color. And just to tie in with my top, I really want to play on the like purple tones that we've got going on. I feel like I'm going to create some sort of like purpley vibes look. So let's go ahead and get started. I feel like I'm just going to go ahead and like do my eyes as I go along and tell you what shades that I'm using, and then give you my thoughts at the very end. But in terms of presentation, decoration, and just like the whole vibe of this palette, it already is like a 10 out of 10. But now we need to see how the shadows perform, because, you know, it can look pretty, but if it performs bad, then it's not really worth it, is it? So I'm just going to go ahead and dip a big fluffy brush into the shade House Lannister and just buff this into my crease as my initial transition color. I do want to keep it quite warm, even though we are going to be using purples, but that's just the way that I prefer to do it. You can play on the cooler tones, but in terms of crease colors, they are mainly warm, but we are going to be using a dark purple to cut out the crease, so do not worry. To further deepen the crease, I'm going to use the shade Lannister Red. Just buff that into the crease, really kind of placing this quite heavily because we are going to be cutting out the crease. I want these colors to show up really well, so just using that to further deepen up the crease and buff back into that House Lannister shade. Then on a flat shaded brush, I'm going to take this shade here called Weirwood Leaves, and I'm going to use this to really deepen the crease and add the purple tones to the crease colors, as that's what we're going to be doing on the lids today. So this is just kind of like a satin purple to really like bring out the purple that we're soon going to be putting on the lids. Okay, so that's kind of all for the crease colors. So far, so good. They performed really well, and I sound really shocked saying that, but some Urban Decay palettes I've used in the past, you really have to like work with the shades, but to be fair, their matte shades have always performed well, and that is what I've just used. We'll see how these shimmers perform, but I am just going to go ahead and carve out my crease using the concealer that I am going to be using on my face, but I'm going to leave that as a surprise. So I'm going to go ahead, carve out the crease, and then we can carry on. Okay, I have carved out the crease like all the way to the end. We want this to be a cut crease, and I really want to like make the most of these shimmers, so let's go ahead and start with these. So I'm going to go ahead and take this shade called Stormborn. This is my one that broke. I'm not sure why, but I'm just going to go ahead and take that on the outermost part of my eye, because we are going to transition it into something a little bit lighter and create more of an ombre. But this like electric blue sparkle that's running through it and just the violet vibes, just, oh my god, I just knew I wanted to do a look with this color. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade called Bend the Knee, which is like, and again, one of the other shades I was so excited for. It's like this iridescent violet color that I want to transition into that darker purple. It's really good tie in with my top as well, but I definitely wanted to do something with these purples because they really stand out. And I do love the blues and the teals, but I do have a blue teal look coming very, very soon, so I wanted to do a different color so you guys wouldn't get bored of the bronzes. But there are some bronzes in here that are amazing. But yeah, just placing this Bend the Knee shade on the rest of the lid. Okay, I feel like those two shimmers look a lot more like impressive in the pan, so I'm a little bit like, oh, I thought this was going to be like a really popping violet look. I feel like this look would look even better if you pop some glitter over the top, but I don't have any new glitter, and I did just want to try this palette out for like what it is. But I am going to go ahead and dip my shader brush back into that Weirwood Leaves shade, which was the purple that we put in the crease. I'm just going to like reinforce it, just so it really does look like a cut crease. Just like so. Don't want to lose that vibe that we have going on. And I feel like doing a cut crease with like a fluffy shader brush kind of like does a lot of the hard work for you and like diffuses back up into the crease colors, which we love. So to highlight my inner corner, I think I'm gonna go ahead, I'm debating whether to pick the Hard Home shade or the White Walker shade. I think I'm gonna go in with Hard Home, which is like your classic shimmer white shade, and then go in with White Walker on the top, because I feel like it's gonna be a bit, oh no, actually maybe the other way around. I'm gonna go in with White Walker first and then the Hard Home on the top. So this is like more of an iridescent blue. Let's try on this side. Okay, it didn't really like show up as much as I wanted, so I'm gonna go in with the Hard Home shade, which is like a shimmery white shade. Okay, that's a bit better. This is one of the like bigger pans on the other side, so I don't know whether or not that's like a pressed pigment or whatever, and I don't know whether or not I want to do liner or not. I don't really want to like take away from the purple that's going on. I think I'm going to leave it for liner, so I'm just going to take away the tape, and we are going to connect this obviously underneath the eye, but I'm just going to wipe away any of the excess that we've got going on and just leave it as kind of like a linerless cut crease. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do lashes and mascara, and then we can move on to start the face products. But so far with them, I mean, they're really pretty, and the palette itself is really, really gorgeous. I expected a little bit more sort of like glitter going on from the shades, just from what they looked like in the pan. So maybe on that sense, I'm a little bit disappointed, but the pigmentation otherwise from the mattes, and obviously the pigmentation from the shimmers is really, really good. But just, yeah, the glitter was kind of like lost in translation. So I'm a little bit like, but you could totally put glitter on the top of this and bring back the glitter, but I'm just doing it as it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, mascara, lashes, but let's begin on the face products. So just a little preview, or just like to show you what the top eyes look like. I quite like this look of no liner, and like when you close, it's just like a wingless cut crease. I really like that. Anyway, skin time, and we've got some interesting products. Okay, so to prep the skin, I'm gonna be taking the Revolution CBD Nourishing Essence Spray to kind of, you know, make my skin a little bit like hydrated, because the primer that we're going to be using is a slightly different primer today. If you guys don't know the benefits of CBD, wait, I've not even used this yet, so, woo. Okay, that just blew onto my face. Wait, hold on, let me spray. Oh, do you know what? I don't know what I thought it was going to smell like. I didn't think it was going to smell like weed or anything, but it actually smells really good. But I'm just going to brush the excess into my skin. So CBD is just really good for like nourishing your skin, just kind of like brightening up your skin. I'm not actually sure on the like the main effects of it, but that feels quite nice on my skin. Smells really good too. So let's see how it works in combination with this. This is the Revolution Pro Blur Stick Universal Face Primer. It's huge for one, so this is going to last you a long time, and what you do is just go ahead and, you know, paint this on your face. So I'm just painting that in all the main spots. Can you see now why I wanted to put a bit more of like a moisturizing base down first? Because this is just a blurring primer, and if you don't know what they are, they really just kind of like fill in your pores. It's not like a silicone primer. It doesn't feel like that. It really does just smooth everything out. But if you're like me and you prefer something a little bit more hydrating, 100% recommend applying a moisturizer or a spray like the one that I just used beforehand. But these are really good if you suffer from texture on your face or anything like that. This really does just help to, yeah, give you like a really smooth, silky canvas ready for foundation. Now, I felt comfortable using that primer because, as you guys know, I love like a wet primer, things that really like make my skin feel hydrating, and that like doesn't do that. But this foundation is the new one in from CRT London, and it's called their Extraordinary Foundation. It is radiant, buildable, and hydrating. So I thought, oh cool, if this foundation's gonna be a little bit more on the like hydrating side, then I don't mind using a slightly blurring primer underneath. So we'll see how this works in combination with each other. This is what the full size bottle looks like, but the full size bottle that they sent me is not my shade, so I'm gonna go ahead and take, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this sample shade. This is in the shade Pebble. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up like this. Okay, that might be a little bit too dark, but we will see. I might make it work. I am a little bit more like tanned. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna need. So I've just painted it on like so. Oh god, this looks a little bit dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a beauty blender to blend this out. Wow. Okay, so I may or may not have got this shade a little bit wrong, but in combination with the beauty blender, this works quite well. I think it's because it's quite like a hydrating foundation. There's no like smell to it, which is good, because you know sometimes some foundations have like a really awful smell. I actually think this smells quite nice, but I'm laughing at the colour. Okay, I'm really just gonna have to like blend this down. Hopefully the concealer will help to even this out slightly. Oh my god, it looked a lot lighter in the sample. But yeah, just blending that in. That coverage is actually really beautiful right off the bat. It does say it's buildable, but I don't feel like I want to add another layer, and it's really giving me like a really subtle glow. That's really, really pretty. This is more of a neutral undertone, so that's kind of why I feel like it appears a little bit darker. This is also called 137N, which was the one that I used, but the other one that I had was 140Y, because like I said, it looked a little bit lighter. So that's got more of like a yellow undertone. So they do have different undertones within that range of foundation, which I really, really like. But that's a really nice coverage foundation. It doesn't feel too heavy. It sits really comfortable on the skin, and you can see it gives like a really nice glow, especially with that primer underneath. I don't feel like they're fighting each other or it's making anything look worse. So we'll see how that lasts, but so far so good. Okay, next up, loads of you have asked me to review this. This is the Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer. This is in the shade C18. Makeup by Jack actually gifted this one to me, and it's like such a nice medium yellow undertone. I definitely recommend going on to the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Instagram page to really assess what the swatches look like, because they don't look the same when they're actually swatched than what they do on like a Beauty Bay, or for example some of them are a lot more like grayer undertones, which I found, but this one is perfect. It's like a really gorgeous medium yellow. You can see I barely picked up any, and the applicator makes that go such a long way. So again, I'm just going to take my beauty blender and blend that into the skin. So glad that this concealer is like quite a bit lighter than the foundation is, making it look a little bit more wearable. So thank God my face isn't completely ruined. It's got such a nice coverage. It's not super full, it's definitely medium to buildable, and that is my favorite kind of coverage in concealer. When they go on super full coverage right off the bat, I find that's when they feel really uncomfortable under the eye, and that's not, who wants that? Like, who wants a big thick slab of like cream underneath their eye that doesn't feel like it's sitting right? But that blended so quickly and so easily into the skin. The coverage is perfect, and I really, really love that colour. That was C18. So now we can move on to cream contour, which I'm super excited about. Sorry, I didn't realise I was a little boy and my voice just broke. I'm really excited. I'm going to be using the new Huda Beauty Tan Tour Contour and Bronzer Cream. This is in the shade Light. Now, I will just say I never, when it comes to cream contouring, refer or would pick something called shade Light, but the colours come off really quite dark. Like, she even has a fair shade, and my sister is what I would call fair, and I think the fair shade is too dark for her. So they are really quite dark contouring shades, but this is the shade Light, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Sculpt and Shade brush that came with it. I'm going to go ahead and take the smaller end first and use this just to carve out my cheeks. You see, this is the shade Light. Like, that's quite dark, don't you think? I'll do my forehead as well. I use this to go down the sides on my nose, and I'll just do my jawline as well. And then I'm going to take the buffer end of things and just use that to buff and blend this out. I don't really like the shape of this, I won't lie. It's, I don't know, making it a little bit harder to blend. It's good on my forehead, but the angle of it doesn't really like fit into my cheeks very well. Okay, well, it works a little bit better on this side of things. That just looks really like messy on my face. I don't know. Maybe it's the brush, maybe it's the product. That's a little bit better. I'm just going to use this to blend along my jaw and blend down. Don't forget about your nose. But now I'm a bit like pissed. This just looks like, I don't know, maybe it's because I prefer cream bronzers rather than like contour shades. So it does look, it's like a little bit too, it just looks a little bit like cool and muddy on my face right now. But I feel like when I use like a bronzer or something like that, it will make it look a little bit better. But I don't know, I feel like I won't be like reaching for that as a contouring product. But I mean, it did blend okay. I feel like that brush, this end of the brush is like, I'm not gonna reach for that. I did like this one to apply on my cheeks and stuff like that to get some precision. But, I don't know, that's like not my favourite of everything that I've used. Anyway, moving on to face powders, I'm going to go ahead and take the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop powder foundations to kind of set my face. So I've got the shade Medium Olive and Beige. I'm going to use the shade Beige underneath my eyes. I feel like this is going to give me some coverage. So just use that to set everything in place. Ooh! Okay, I like the coverage from this and the matte finish. I actually might just use the shade all over. So this is just the shade Beige all over to make sure everything is all set. Definitely in and around my nose. Powder foundations are really, really good to set underneath the eyes if you want that like really super bright full coverage effect, because they're super matte and obviously meant to last the longest time. So this is a new powder foundation in from NYX. This is the shade Beige. It's not as bright as I wanted it to be underneath my eye and my face looks really dark. I'm stressing, but I'm just honestly just using this as I go along. I'm hoping I'm now going to add some colour back into my face so I won't look so weird. So for bronzer, I'm actually going to take the new Hoola Caramel shade. I have spoken about this a lot on my channel but not really used it, and I feel like a lot of you guys want to see this in action because it's actually sold out everywhere. I feel like this caramel shade is what everyone was after. So I'm just going to use this to kind of reimburse or reinforce that contour that we had going on, like so. And do you know what, I think because the foundation I'm wearing is obviously really quite dark, this doesn't look as dark as it usually would on me, which is why I don't reach for it so often, and I'm happy just using the original Hoola. So if you have a slightly more like a medium skin tone, like medium dark skin tone, this Hoola Caramel is going to be amazing for you, because the formula of Hoola anyway is like one of my favourite bronzers ever, and this shade is just a really nice warm shade when you're a little bit more tanned. I'm really not trying to be this tanned right now, it's just the way that the cookie has crumbled for me. God save my soul, and I'm scared to read the comments. I'm scared to read the comments, but this is me trying things first hand. I didn't know this was gonna happen. Look. Anyway, to finish off the face, I'm gonna go ahead and take this new palette from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Glowgasm palette. Oh my goodness, these shades look amazing. I've not touched them, but they look amazing in the pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this blusher shade right here. This is the slightly lighter palette, by the way. This is the Lightgasm palette. So I'm just gonna take that blusher. That's such a gorgeous, like, sun-kissed blusher shade. So into that shade. But before I go ahead and highlight my cheekbones, I'm just going to go ahead and do my brows, because I always like to do my brows before highlighting, and I didn't have any new brow products, which is a little bit annoying. So yeah, going to go ahead and do brows, and then we can highlight the skin, finish the eyes, do the lips. Let's go. Okay, brows are done, so let's go ahead and highlight the skin. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the same Charlotte Tilbury palette. I'm gonna take, obviously, the Champagne Gold. Now, I always get a little bit funny about these palettes, because in the pan, they look amazing, but that's because they've got this, like, coating to them. So I wanna see if it translates the same without, like, a cream primer or anything like that, just right off the bat. Okay, yeah, that's really pretty. Just highlight the skin. Oh, that's really nice. They also offer you a, like, peachier kind of one, but this one looked the most blinding, darling. Because some of these pans like this, ooh, girl, they just are like a top coat layer, and once you take that off, there's like nothing left to them. But this one did not disappoint. I love that. That's gonna be, like, really nice for, like, traveling or something like that, when you just want things on the go. That's a really nice highlighting palette to do that. Really pretty. Okay, so now let's finish off the eyes. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take that Stormborn shade, which is the one that we used on the outermost part of the eye, and just run that underneath, just because I really want that color to stand out. So I'm just gonna take, like, a shader brush like this, and just run this underneath the eye, just for, like, some glitter, purple action. I will zoom you in and show you a close-up at the end. Ooh, pretty. So this is what the finished eyes look like. I love this palette, and I love the concept of it, especially as a Game of Thrones fan. I do feel like I might need to experiment with some of the other shimmery shades just to see if they perform the same, but these purples are actually really pretty. I just wish they were a little bit more sparkly. The mattes performed super well. The pigmentation of them is amazing. So overall, I'd probably say this is, like, I don't know, like a 7 out of 10 palette. There's a few little things I would tweak and change about them, but I love the colors. I love this eye look and the way that it looks. So now let's just go ahead and do the lips. So I've just gone ahead and lined my lips. We are going to be doing a nude just because the eyes are so, you know, I want them to be the sole focus, and I've got some bomb new products, and these are Holly Boone's new lip products. We have the Obsessed liquid lipstick and the Feeling Myself lip gloss. They are, like, kind of cool tones, so I thought they would tie in with the purple, but this is the liquid lipstick. This nude though, this is, like, such a gorgeous nude, but they dry in about 10 or so seconds, which is good, so they're super comfortable. But now I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Feeling Myself gloss to finish off this look. I think these are both the, like, lighter or light shades in her collection. She came out with so many recently, but both together work so nicely. Like, they're so, the lip glosses are so juicy on the lip and feel so comfortable, like, not sticky at all. It doesn't separate the liquid lipstick or break it away. Obviously, when you use two things from the same brand, they do tend to work the best together. This color is unreal. Such a gorgeous light, I'd say it's on the cooler tone of things, but it's not like gray tone nude or anything like that. Both feel so amazing together to tie with this look and finish up. So proud of you, Holly. Well done. The link to both of those are in the description bar down below. So this is the finished makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I'm looking a little bit like I've caught the sun, or a little bit more tanned than usual. It was an accident. Please forgive me. I was just trying these out as I got them, and I got the shade a little bit wrong. But in terms of the overall products, I obviously really love the lip products, and I promise you I'm not just saying that. They just look and feel amazing on the skin. That foundation, minus the color, if I got my right shade, is really nice and looks really pretty. I feel like this isn't probably going to be your favorite foundation if you have oilier skin, so maybe steer clear of that. But if you have normal to dry skin, this is a really nice hydrating full coverage foundation. Love that concealer. I do love the Hoola Caramel bronzer. I feel like it was quite clear what my faves were throughout this video, and I have listed everything in the description bar down below if you are interested. But this is just obviously me trying these out so you don't have to, and you can see what they look like before you buy them. But I hope you guys appreciated seeing all this new in goodness in action. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. And oh my god, I'm so excited for the next video. You do not want to miss it. Oh my god, sorry, I might cry just thinking about it. So make sure your notification bells are on, and I will see you there. Bye guys.